Hello everyone, thank you and welcome back to my channel. Today I wanted to talk to you about how I discovered my breast cancer. May of 2020, I was having some tightness of the breast, pain, and a lot of discomfort, standing, walking, laying down when I was sleeping. And for me, I thought I had maybe injured it by bumping into something or just not even realizing that I had injured it or maybe pressed up against something too hard. So I really didn't think that there was an issue until it started hurting a lot more than what it was, how the pain was. So with that being said, I made an appointment with my gynecologist and they got me in, and when I went in, we did an ultrasound and they noticed that I had a lot of fluid in one of the cysts. Now, mind you, I do have cystic breasts because I would have to have my mammogram done along with the ultrasound every year. Every year I would do this. And this particular time, one of the cysts was infected. So they thought. So again, during this time, they did an ultrasound. While doing the ultrasound, they ended up doing a needle aspiration to remove the fluid that was on the breast. During this time, everything was fine. They had taken off all the fluid. The cyst was drained. It was looking good. And one thing that I will say here is you can see on the screen everything that they're doing. You can see the needle going in. You can see when she's withdrawing the fluid. So, and as the fluid is being withdrawn, you could see how it's being emptied. You know, the cyst is literally emptying, right? So that was fine. I walked out, felt good, no problem. The next morning I woke up and there the breast was nice and full again, tight, pain, and hurting. Called the doctor, told them that I needed to come back in because the fluid was back on my breast. Now this time it hurt a lot more than it did the first time. The first time it was just a prick with the needle. Then this time it hurt a lot more because the fluid was a lot thicker. At this point, there was a hematoma inside of this cyst, which was now harder to draw from, because now instead of you drawing liquid, you're drawing more of the blood that was inside of this cyst. So it hurts. They cleared everything, emptied it out. Everything is fine. It looks good. We're looking at it on the screen. Perfect. This is on the Friday. I have a follow-up appointment on Tuesday just to see how everything was looking. And no. I go back on that Tuesday because the fluid is back. The fluid is back and my doctor is like, Miss McCreary, I don't think that we need to bother this breast again. This is something that I can't do. So he calls the hospital that I currently now go to and asked them if they could see me. So he called the gynecology clinic inside the hospital and they did say that they could see me, and they told him to let me come right away and they'll be waiting on me. So that was about 30 minutes away from where I was. He told me to take my time, so I got there, found where I was going. And they saw me, and they at this point did their own ultrasound and saw the same thing as him, the fluid. And at this point in time, you know, they definitely know what they're looking at. So when we're looking on the screen, I'm looking on the screen with them, and at this point I don't know what I'm looking at and what cancer looks like on the outside. And I just see what I know as what I've been looking at before when they were drawing the fluid off was fluid. But no. At this point, he does the ultrasound. He's looking at everything. He comes back in. After he leaves out, he comes back in. And he says, Miss McCrary, we're going to schedule you for surgery on this coming up Thursday, excuse me, so that we can draw the fluid. He showed me what they were going to do. So they cut an incision underneath my breast to put a bag to draw the fluid out and let the fluid drain out. And then the next thing that he said was, we want to make sure that everything is okay, so why don't we do a biopsy? But the way we're going to do this biopsy is that we're going to cut above the nipple, open it up, do a biopsy, and go from there. Sounds good. So on that Thursday, June the 4th, I had my surgery, and they kept me for a couple of days. So by that Saturday, I was not released until that Saturday. And I didn't know why. I was like, why won't they let me go home? The only thing that they were supposed to be doing was let the fluid drain. I could have did that and came back, and then you could have took the bag and that was it. Well, I said to him when he came in to see me, I was like, hey, can I go home now? Because by this time there is no TV here in the hospital rooms. There is no Wi-Fi. I pretty much almost didn't have signal, and I was tired, and I felt like the food, didn't want none of that. So he released me Saturday afternoon. No, it's like late Saturday afternoon, about 3 o'clock that afternoon. So I went home, but I still had a follow-up appointment on that Monday to come back. I thought that I was coming back to have the stitches looked at, make sure everything was fine, everything was good, not a problem. Well, when I got there, that's not what happened. Once I got in to see the doctor and we sat down, I was so excited, y'all. I was like, oh yeah, okay, we're just gonna get this checked out. I'm gonna turn around, I'm gonna go home. On that day, my life would change forever. In that moment when I sat in that chair and she sat across from me and looked at me in my face, in my eyes, and said, Miss McCrary, you have breast cancer. I'm looking back trying to see who she's talking to, because surely there's another Miss McCrary here that I haven't seen. My world went blank. I could not hear anything that she was saying. I could not remember anything that she was saying. She gave me directions on what I was going to be doing next. And from there, everything took off. All I could do was sit there and cry. And I'm by myself. I don't know what to do. I don't know what to say. So I said nothing. I took it all in. And at the same time, my mind was going 100 miles per hour, because now I have been put in this world that I know nothing about, and I didn't know what I was going to be doing next. So right after this, they took me over to get another mammogram. They took me over to have a CT scan, and from that point forward, that's how the training started going. So that's the beginning of how I found out I had breast cancer. So if you haven't already, please like, share, and subscribe. Remember, my journey isn't for only those who have cancer. My journey is for those people who also have someone who is going through cancer, a loved one, family members, and friends. So, again, thank you, and I'll see you next time.